Hi, patrons. I have spent the evening working in my planner and doing a monthly reflection and other stuff. So I thought I'd share that with you. So I will put a download of this worksheet in this patron post, so you can download it yourself and do it as well. So the first question I ask every month is what was the most memorable part of this past month, and describe it. So this was hard for me to choose this month because turns out I did a lot of social things this past month, which I didn't plan on. Some of them spontaneously happened, and that was really joyous. And some I planned ahead of time, and that was equally joyous. So two of the most memorable social events that were out of the ordinary was Nick's potluck. I reconnected with this older acquaintance, really. We just started becoming friends pre-pandemic, and then we haven't seen him at all really since the pandemic hit. So he just reached out of the blue and texted us and invited us to a potluck. So we went to that, and it was good, to be in the world and see him again and reconnect. And then my two closest girlfriends, Deanna and Tamara, have birthdays in February. So I gave them a birthday brunch, and we had copious amounts of mimosas, and I made beignets, which I only do 2 times a year usually. So it was a special occasion food. So it was really good to be in the company of those ladies. Also, my stepmother's sister died in hospice this past month too. So she was a neat lady. I didn't really know her that well, but my thoughts go to my stepmom. What were the 3 biggest lessons you learned this past month? Well, I learned that love and company is always good for the soul, but carving out spirit time is equally valid and necessary for me anyway. I also had a dream, and an uncle that had passed came to me in the dream and told me, well, the quote won't make sense to you, but he said something like, if I can remember the dream state, you can't eat the whole castle, which the meaning that I took from that was to do things just little bits at a time and not try to take on more than I can do. And that's a hard lesson for me to learn. I keep hearing that. The universe keeps telling me, and now my uncle has come to me from the grave and told me to chill out and not try to worry myself so much. And then number 3 is being open to the universe bringing me prosperity, and that in doing so, I will be surprised and delighted at what shows up. The next review question in the Passion Planner is: review your planner for the past month and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? If not, what steps can you take next month to adjust them? So I actually only did part of that. I just went through and looked at my planner and meditated on whether I was happy with my choices. And my answer was yes and no. I watched way too much TV. Glow Up and Project Runway are very addictive shows, and I have to say I have been binging those shows. I did visit with old and new friends. I stayed connected to family. I connected with my Passion Planner family ambassadors and my writing community, the Author Success Mastermind group, and that all felt really good. I did feel disconnected from self a bit, so that was kind of lame. I did yearn for more spirituality, ritual, and yoga. I've gained a little bit of weight. The intermittent fasting feels a little harder. But I also know that February is traditionally, historically, always been a really tough month for me, like depression-wise. So I think probably that has contributed. What did you accomplish this past month, and what are you most proud of? Okay, here's my bullet list. I line edited a book for a client. I donated time. I volunteered for this Oregon Country Fair crew that I'm on. And I added a testimonial page to my website. I followed up on several potential clients. I emailed all my hot contacts and my warm email list, asking for referrals and telling them about coaching packages that I was offering. I went to the chiropractor, I went to the doctor. I did podcast episodes every week. I did an author podcast broadcast, which is kind of an article that I put out for the authorlife.com a couple times a year, a few times a year actually. It's almost every other month really. I cleaned up my mailing list tags, which was getting kind of cluttered. I did do a Passion Family Ambassador Accountability meeting. Went to several parties, gatherings with family, friends, Super Bowl parties, etc. I worked on my memoir. I did a paid ad for my retreat. I made an Eventbrite page for my retreat. The Literary Arts put out a community message about the retreat. I signed a contract to narrate part of a book. I did about 5 sample edits for bookbutchers.com. I did 2 discovery calls with potential clients. And this is the one I'm most proud of. Actually, I did 28 straight days of Duolingo Spanish lessons. And that I've been trying to do for like 2 years. And I keep wanting to do it after work, and I never remember, or I don't feel like doing it, or whatever. Just has never happened. So I attached it to my morning routine. So now after my journaling and my tea and snuggling with the dogs, and just before I get up to get dressed for the day, I do my little Spanish lesson on Duolingo. So that worked for me. Next question. How are you different between this past month and the month before it? Well, I already said these really. I was yearning more for spirit and ritual. I was more stressed about money, and also the bit I acknowledged about February, just that chronically it's the worst month for me for depression, but I only had a handful of really tough days this month, so that was good. What or who are you especially grateful for this past month? For me, it was my husband's hugs. I really needed them this month. I'm grateful to Tamara and Deanna for staying friends throughout all these years, and I'm grateful for the community that I'm finding with the Author Success Mastermind and the Passion Planner family. 3 things I can improve on this month are yoga and meditation. So what I'm going to do is try to commit to Tuesdays and Thursday mornings before walking the dogs. I'll do a yoga session in my little home gym. And I want to commit to planning time on the weekend, menus also, and use stickers in my planner to make it all pretty. And I want that to be on Saturday afternoons. But if I try Saturday afternoons a couple weeks and it doesn't work out, then I'm open to trying also Monday nights or Tuesday mornings. But I'd rather not do them at that time. And then the third thing is to increase my financial awareness. And the way I'm going to do that is by saying affirmations in the morning and rereading Money Magic, which is a book by The Money Witch. And I'm going to check my bank balance every day. And then the last thing on the monthly reflection is to kind of rate the overall feeling for the month from 1 to 10. And, I tried out a couple of lower numbers, but I think that's just the seasonal affective disorder clouding my judgment. So the number I ended on was 7 because I did do stuff and I had some balance and I, wasn't all work and I felt not bad on lots of days. So I'm giving myself a 7 for that. At the end of the month, I also do a little quick checklist and I go to my passion roadmap. And I do a passion roadmap twice a year in like December and in June. And so I every month kind of check back and see if I've accomplished anything. And I haven't. So that was kind of a hard pill to swallow. But what I'm going to choose to work on this month is to go through one whole editing pass on my memoir. And my steps for that, breaking that down into smaller steps, I'm going to be doing 2 25-minute Pomodoro writing sprints in the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays before I do anything else. So that is my monthly reflection. At the end of the monthly reflection, the next thing I do is create a new memory page, gratitude journal for the next month. So by the end of the month, this is my February one. Let me find it. So this was my February one. And I forgot to fill in a couple days at the end of the month, but what are you going to do? So I created a new one. So this is my March. It's all blank. And my theme for this month, I did a tarot spread for the year back in December. And so the March card that I drew is the 9 of Earth reversed. So here it is. And so I drew it reversed. So that means the shadow 9 of Earth symbolizes a need to be charitable and kind to yourself so that you can in turn be kind and charitable to others. So for this month, especially coming off of the seasonal affective disorder February blues, this month I'm going to really focus on self-care and just being kind to myself. So I made a list of how I will be a friend to myself, and that includes checking in daily with myself, asking how I'm feeling, going to bed at 10 o'clock every night, drinking less alcohol because that helps me sleep better, bringing back the yoga, so I've got a plan for that, and watching the moon. I think maybe that'll help bring in some spirituality and ritual into my world again. And my self-care to-do list is weekly planning. That really brings me peace. I have a weekly reading night instilled, and I'm really liking that. And I'm also trying to bring more candlelight into my world and more silence. I really dig silence these days. And also grooming time. I totally need a manicure. Look at how many fingers don't have. So, I want to give myself a mani-pedi this weekend sometime. And a work project I picked out, I said already, was to do another editing pass on my memoir and then do that narration project for my client. And my top priority personal project is to speak kindly to myself. And also my birthday is this month, so it kind of goes hand in hand, I guess. I'm going to really focus on me and try not to feel guilty or lame about doing that, because it's really okay and it's really necessary, and I really need to do it for myself. So that is my monthly ritual of reflection and planning and setting intention. And I would love to hear what you do for yourself on a monthly basis. I will talk to you soon. See you next month, if not before.